Alright, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about how I made 31k in 7 days for my model. So, basically the two traffic sources that we're mainly using to actually get to this. Yeah, so obviously I won't be talking about the basics, but more for, I guess, experienced agencies. So, the traffic sources we use mainly is Reddit and Instagram. So for Reddit, what we do is our main niches that we run is feet and NSFW. We know, we used to run a lot. We still run a lot for her, but we noticed that these two niches, and especially feet, is what works for this model really good. We only noticed this like maybe 2 or 3 months ago. That every time we post in subreddits that our feet niche, then it usually goes viral very very quick, and it works like every single time. And we didn't really pay enough attention to it to make a big switch, but then we were like, let's do it, and then now we're focusing a lot on that, and it's doing really well. And obviously it's full NSFW, so basically just subreddits that allow you to post full nudity, and that's the whole point of subreddit. Sort of, there's not like a specific niche exactly. It's more just about posting full nudity, and that's what we do. So yeah, obviously, like I said, we do have other niches. Like we'll still have subreddits where we post, like accounts where we post boobs and ass, stuff like that. But these are the main ones. Now the secret, a lot of people think there's secrets and stuff to marketing. In my opinion, there's no such thing as a secret. It's just about what you know. But the quote unquote secret to Reddit is simply testing content, captions, and subreddits. Once you find what works for your model, it becomes very easy to see creative results on Reddit. So with Reddit, the main issue that people have is they sort of just make an account, find a few subreddits, and stick to that. They don't really work on improving anything. They just sort of post every day, and if they get it done, they're like, okay, that's today's work done, and that's it. The way you should be looking at Reddit is, until you're averaging like 100 plus upvotes per post, you're not really doing that good. Obviously, you could be getting less and still getting subs, but like, realistically, you probably you're not going to be getting a lot of subscribers from 20 or 30 upvotes per post. You need to be looking for a bit more. And yeah, obviously, like I said, the things that actually change that is the content, caption, and subreddits. No matter how your account looks or how your model looks, anything like that, it doesn't really matter if you're not testing these things. The number one most important thing I'd say is content. That's the most important. If you have good content, you can still do well even on bad subreddits. If you have bad captions but good content, you can still do well. So that's number one. That's the most important. Second is probably subreddits, I'll say, and then captions. But they're all equally, pretty similar to how important they are. Everything else doesn't really matter too much. Once you figure out the content that works, the captions that do good, and the subreddits that do good for your model, then you will see very good results. Obviously, as for subreddits, the way we run it is, when we find a subreddit that we want to post in, we'll look at what goes viral, and we'll just recreate it. We'll have similar content and a similar caption, and we'll post that, and then it usually does pretty good. And that's literally our method, to be honest, for Reddit. Is we just find, when we test a subreddit, we'll see what went viral and copy that, make it similar. If it performs, then it's a good subreddit for the model. If it doesn't perform, then we move on. After like a week of testing it, if it doesn't do good in there, then we move on. And yeah. Now, obviously, as for how we actually run Reddit, like how many accounts and stuff, we aim for like around 10 accounts plus per model. But the way we sort of do it is we have our VAs, managing a few accounts on phone, maybe a few on web if we have to. And like our number one main VA that we know is very good and can bring results, so we'll have like one main mobile account, right? So for this model, we have one main mobile account posting 60 to 80 times per day. And this is the the account that makes the most of the traffic for the account. Obviously, the other accounts do bring a lot as well, but this main one is the one that goes viral the most, and what brings most of the money in. And obviously, it posts like 80 times a day. on the web, if you've not done mobile before, on the web, posting 80 times a day technically counts as like 4 or 5 accounts, because you can't post that much on the web without getting banned. 100% not. So yeah. So overall, with Reddit, what we do for this model, or what we've done with this model to get to this point, is just simply testing for a long enough time until we find out what works, and we found what works, and now we're just scaling it, and posting more. So yeah. Now next thing is Instagram. So for Instagram, it's pretty similar. We do feet niche, but then we also do flash nude videos. So flash nude, I made videos about this before. It's a very good method that I go a lot more in depth in my private group about. But flash nudes is one of the easiest ways, in my opinion, to go viral right now for any type of model. No matter what niche you're in, flash nude works for any type of model. And it's just one, in my opinion, the best way to go viral right now. So what we do is, our main accounts that we don't want banned or at risk of being banned, is we post the feet content. Wherever we find trending, we'll recreate it, post it, and hopefully it goes viral again. And for flash nude videos, sort of the secondary accounts is where we post the flash nude videos, posting 2 to 4 times per day. But yeah, like I said, I do go a lot more in depth into this exact sort of strategy on my in my private group. So if you want to check that out, that will be in the description. But yeah, these are the 2 main traffic sources I've been using to get my model to 30k in a week. So yeah, hopefully you guys learned something from this. Like, once again, I'll have my Telegram in the description. If you have any questions, DM me on Telegram. And yeah, see you guys later.